Over the last 10 years, ladies and gents, I've built a network with purpose. It's not always about investing in property, it's about creating cash flow. It's about starting businesses, it's about feeding families, it's about living your why, living your purpose.
Standing here today feels like a full circle moment, a moment that honors not just an award I received, but a journey that reshaped my life, my leadership, and my vision of impact.
I don't think that there is a single one event which captures the imagination of an investor like an event like this.
I want to see people gain confidence and actually be able to invest in properties and really gain a meaningful impact in their lives and be able, with confidence, to come out and invest and get more involved in the economy and create opportunities for themselves.
We're so honored. It's such a privilege for us to continue our partnership that we have with SAPN. We are so proud to be able to see some of the achievements that we have had tonight.
Today was so impactful for me as we launched because we saw different levels of winners from the previous Investor of the Year, from beginners, from newcomers, from youth up to big leagues. For me, it's an inspiration to those that were fearful in entering Investor of the Year.
I want to encourage everybody to enter for the 2026 Investor of the Year and just see how your story can be told to the rest of South Africa.
It is phenomenal. The stories that we hear today, and it's so inspiring that this platform helps entrepreneurs to leapfrog into new opportunities.
I encourage you to really come in and invest and really enter into Investor of the Year because it can really change your life. Just go ahead, take the plunge and get in and register.
The stories of the winners has been awesome. It's inspiring, and that's exactly what SAPN is about. We are very proud to be associated with SAPN as a company, and we look forward to many, many more collaborations moving forward.
Since my journey with SAPN, I've been on a growth path. I have met a lot of people who are also willing to invest in my deals. I have had doors open for me, more opportunities, and I just love being a part of the SAPN community.
It was fantastic to listen to the amazing stories that these category winners and contestants shared with all of us. So this is a fantastic journey.
We are so looking forward to 2026 Investor of the Year. We want to see who's going to take away all the prizes and who's going to be the main champion. So please get your entries ready and submit.
Guys, what an evening here at Villa Bianca, the launch of 2026 Investor of the Year. We have partners, sponsors, previous entrants, even future entrants entering. This is such a great initiative for all South Africans in the property space. So I urge you, take that next step into Investor of the Year, build your profile, because remember, credibility meets opportunity. It's not always who you know, it's who knows you.
Meets opportunity. Good afternoon, ladies and gents, and welcome to yet another day of Investor of the Year Wednesday. We're super excited to be here with you all. We're going to be together plus minus 30 minutes to an hour, where we are going to go through round number 2 judging live from PE, as I struggle to say the Gqeberha. I'm sure Jade and the team will correct the pronunciation of it. But ladies and gents, once more, welcome to the Investor of the Year competition, where we all systems go towards September this year, where we are having yet another edition of the said competition. A bit about me, ladies and gents. My name is Daniel Kazadi. I'm a judge for the Investor of the Year competition, as well as a property developer and investor in my own right, ladies and gents. And for those of you that do not know about the Investor of the Year competition, this is the 5th edition of the said competition that we are running, ladies and gents. We started all the way in 2018, where we had Robin Booth, who was the overall winner with a phenomenal short-term accommodation deal down in Cape Town. And then the next year we did it was 2019, where we had none other than Dana Bonza with an amazing student accommodation deal. 2021, one of the most inspirational characters in the property space, we had Mr. Darren Francis was the overall winner. And then 2024 was historic on multiple fronts. And the biggest reason why we had our first female winner, Mrs. Patricia Chitema, And as we are going to 2026, it is your opportunity to be the next winner, ladies and gents. And for this year's competition, there's 3 main categories that you can enter from the beginner, intermediate, as well as big leagues. So depending on your deal size, your level of experience, we will place you in one of 3 categories, and then the overall winner will have to come from those categories. But we've got multiple subcategories and new categories that you can see on your screen right now as well. So if you are out there, you're looking to enter the competition, please scan the QR code. We've got up until the end of July, ladies and gents, for new entrants or new individuals that want to enter the competition. Please scan the QR code or go to our website at www.investoroftheyear.co.za, where you can also nominate someone you think is doing some amazing work in the property space and you feel they can tell their stories to other South Africans as well, to encourage them and inspire them to get started on the property journey. I do see there's a few of you guys watching me from all over the country on our YouTube and Facebook page. Please let me know down below where you are watching me from. Please let me know down below. A special thank you to Absa Bank, who's our headline sponsor and partner for this year's competition, where Absa and us are going around the country, ladies and gents, to hear your stories, right, and your investment journeys, and how we can, number one, help you and celebrate with you for all the work done. So special thank you to our headline partner and sponsor, Absa Bank. And I'd like to announce, ladies and gents, that the winner of the Investor of the Year this year will win a cash prize of 100,000 Rand, which is the biggest prize in the history of the said competition as well. Thank you to all of our partners and sponsors as well, like BSA Law, Tough Capital, Zweshu, Business Partner, SA Host, Framework Integrated Solutions, and all of you. We say massively thank you for joining us on this journey together for this year. And there's more prizes, ladies and gents. Whoever does win gets a weekend away trip at Bakubang Beach Lodge as well. So, ladies and gents, enough of housekeeping and me talking on. Like I said, this is more judging. So in this time, ladies and gents, we are going to be doing round 2 judging live from PE, and we've got one of our Sapin coaches and big advocate for Sapin down in PE, Mr. Jade Barkhazen, as well as 2 individuals from Absa, Lonwabo being one of them, and Yvette. And the whole point of this, ladies and gents, is unlike all the other Investor of the Years, we are taking you through the journey with us. But enough of me, ladies and gents. I'd like to introduce your judges for the session this afternoon. Jade, can you hear me, brother?
How there, Dan? Yes, loud and clear.
Oh, perfect. Jade, do you want to maybe introduce yourself, my brother?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Dan, and thanks to everyone out there for attending today. I'm obviously based down here in Port Elizabeth or Tebega. I think that's how you say it, Dan. Don't ask me to spell it. I can't spell it yet. Yeah, so I've been with Sapin since 2017. So it's been almost a decade now of being involved, and I'm obviously one of the coaches with Sapin. And I do mostly inner city developments, brownfields developments down here in PE. I guess that's my specialty. But yeah, I actually entered in 2019, and I can tell you this event really helped skyrocket my personal portfolio and network. So for anyone who enters, I think it's hugely valuable. Even if you don't win, just being part of the competition is a huge asset that you can use going forward. So really excited to be here, and thanks to Absa for hosting us at their beautiful new offices here in Cape Road in Newton Park, PE. Looking forward to the presentations.
I appreciate it, Jade. So the next, ladies and gents, the next 2 individuals are from Absa Bank, our partners and sponsors for this year's competition. It's Mr. Lonwabo and Mrs. Yvette. Lonwabo, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lonwabo Kangule. I'm the sales manager for the Eastern Cape and the Southern Cape region. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And then Yvette, are you also there with us?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I'm Yvette Bradley, also from Absa. Been in home loans for quite some time, so that's about 7 years, but an overall experience in banking close on to 30. So I'm glad you don't see me on the cameras, But I think that, yes, the banking experience helps quite a bit in terms of also having an assessment, because this is a business venture in itself as well. So, yes, looking forward to the presentation as well and meeting our candidate. Welcome.
Thank you.
No, perfect. So, ladies and gents, please, we are about to start. Please do drop a like to the video on our YouTube as well as Facebook pages. And we're going to get started with round number 2 judging. And we've got none other than Mr. Frank. Mr. Frank, are you still out there with us?
Yes, thank you very much, Daniel. I'm here. Yeah.
No, perfect. So, Mr. Frank, as discussed, so we're going to give you presentation time plus minus 20 minutes. Ladies and gents, if you are out there, you have any questions you would like to ask Frank, you can ask in the comment section down below. So Frank will go through his presentation in 20 minutes, and then we're going to have a Q&A session from the judges to make sure their scorecards are filled. And if you have any questions, you can ask Mr. Frank as well. But Mr. Frank, over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks everyone here and everyone listening wherever they are. Yeah, as I said, my name is Frank. My middle name is Sioketso, meaning Makosana, a king, Ngwenya. I stay here in Port Elizabeth. I grew up in Joburg, born in Johannesburg, but found myself here in PE 2006 till today. Yeah, so I'll just read through and then we take it from there. So the strategy, I've been just really intrigued by the development space over the years, building up from one property, doing flats, then you move to residential units, build one house, then you do projects for clients. Then I find myself, because I've always loved developments, then my international exposure really put me through mostly onto this mixed use living and all that, which I managed to say one day I want to bring it back home, there's a lot of things going on in Joburg and Cape Town, but I felt let's just go back to PE or Eastern Cape and try to develop our city here, one development at a time. So as I say, on my presentation, we chose these high growth areas, like especially on this deal that I'm presenting, the Bay West Mall, that is still yet to be developed. That's the precinct now. Where we are developing is next to the hospital that's coming up. I think they are breaking ground in August with about first phase of 138 beds onwards. Yeah, so we'll be developing this development wherein we'll be selling about 99% of the units and keep maybe 1%. And before, when I presented on round 1, we had a deal with KFC to put a KFC there, but upon different meetings, we realized that KFC wanted us to build them the actual store at our cost. So upon checking that, we felt, no, we don't have such kind of money to build for. It's like a preschool child building for their mother, so we're still growing. Can you imagine building? So we felt at the moment we are not at that space to build for them. So we converted that space to make sure that we'll do a 9-room boutique hotel in the development. We removed because we're going to lose money and they'll only pay 8,000 a month, which was going to take us about 10, 12 years to get our 3 million back. So we decided to build a hotel in that space. So how I found, on that development, I think you'll see once we go through to the pages with the pictures that at least explains it fully, that we'll have this 9-room boutique hotel. We'll operate the laundromat. We've got 42 units, ranging from studio units, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedrooms. Then we've got shops downstairs in one wing, 5 shops that will have a laundromat that will run ourselves, a coffee shop that will run ourselves, and a restaurant space that will rent out, and some other space maybe for a water company or whatever will open up for the residents here to take over. So how I found the deal, as we're growing, our development company was growing, trying to look for bigger challenges. Then we happened to approach the landowner of the guys that used to own the mall itself. Then I'm consulting them on other things. Then they gave me a couple of lands to choose from. Then for me, Bay West precinct looked like something that we can turn something out of that. So that's how I found the deal. Then worked out a proper deal from there. Why property? Property for me is passion, as I said earlier, and the fact that it's an ultimate legacy asset at the same time. And the experience, I have 22 years in experience from sales. I started with Century 21 actually in Cape Road here in 2006, right across the road here. So, because of the love of property. But before then, I was working for a company called J.D. Wetherspoons in the UK. So I started as a restaurant manager. Then we ended up going across the UK, opening their chain stores. They are the biggest in Europe. So we opened a lot of their pubs and restaurants and B&B. So I learned a lot in building things from there. So the actual love started from there. So, okay, number 2, there is the pictures there as I was illustrating. We are right next to Sandral building for those that know Port Elizabeth in PE, right next to entrance 1 at Bay West Mall. As you can see, the before picture is the board, but if you go today, it's totally different. We are closing up the whole site in preparation for breaking ground in 3 weeks' time. So that's an older picture, but possibly send some more pictures soon. So the guys are on site as I speak. So we, as I said, 42 units, 5 shops, a hotel, apartments, they range from 495 to 1.2 million. We're already 60-70% sold out, by the way, without even breaking ground, which is very rare for Port Elizabeth. So what we did, we made sure that we play around the pricing. And the advantage for us is that we are also developers, we are also builders. We do everything ourselves. So that helps. So the cost is within us. And the other advantage is that we import we've got a factory that makes everything from our porcelain tiles to our kitchens and everything. So there's a lot of savings that we make from there for us. No one else, I don't want to beat my own drum, but no one else can achieve these numbers in 2026. It's not possible. It's not, because we know we start from getting all the materials to building it ourselves and. So that's why we're able to promise those numbers of sales. That's why we sell without even, So if you can see on the right, we're busy with the geotech on the Juring. The geotech guys were busy 3 months ago, but they are done now. The reports are out. Our plan, SDP is already approved. The actual building plan is inside. I think it will be approved in a week, because we just had a small little deferment that we're just fixing. We'll take it back tomorrow. So the right side, it's the actual building with the drive-through that we've changed, obviously. Yeah, so numbers. Now let's speak numbers. So the purchase price for this plot, that's 4,600 square meters, was 5.6 million. So because we ended up doing the funding was the vendor financing. So the money will be paid up at the end of everything once the sectional title development is done, depending on which comes first. The phase 1 may paid off, because we're starting with phase 1 now with 19 units. We may pay it off, then we know that we're done with that. Then the building costs, these are building costs internally, 18 million. Out of that 18 million, we've already raised our own financing with a mix of other private financing companies. So 18 million, that's our internal ambitious amount, which we know that we'll be able to achieve. So the 21 million is plus the fees and all these other things that may come, and the interest wherever we took money from. So the evaluation for the whole, once we sell the whole units, plus let's say the hotel and all the shops, the minimum is 43 million for the whole entire development. Then the cash flow or profit on that, we're playing around the 15.4 million. And also we've got the rentals and the coffee shops that will continue making money till eternity. Landromat is gonna stay on until my kids take over one day. And then on top right, you'll see that we've got the annual profits there. The laundromat, we estimated at least 200K per year. The coffee shop, 250 per year. And the restaurant rental, that's the rental for the restaurant, that's 72. We calculated it at about $90 rands per square meter, 200 rands per square meter. We've got about 164 combined restaurant space, and we are looking for an experienced operator there to take over that space. Like for those that know PE, we're looking for people like Bonamia, those type of operators that will be able to stay, and we work with them. Then on the development, we'll also have some 5 Airbnbs that we may keep. That will generate, give or take, if all goes well, 450K per annum. So you'll see down there is a the QS market value. So we just received the documents from the QS, the quantity surveyors, that we're doing all the cost till the bare minimum on the market value. So they worked everything at 35 million, but our internal developer amounts is 18 million that we'll be able to achieve. So most of the things from that 35 million will beat it. We've already beat a lot, by the way. So we already done all the consultants are almost paid, almost all of them. Architects, engineers, we are just short a tiny amount. So their estimate was higher. So we've already beat that. The civils, we do civils ourselves. You estimated it at a higher price, but we already see that we'll be able to win on that too. And on the building cost, they just did the normal, just in case something happens to the company, at least someone can take it over and continue. That's the 35 million that the QS company came back with. So these are our numbers in brief or in summary. These are our internal numbers that we came up with. The preliminaries, we are on 702,000. We're still gonna beat that, we know. Phase one is a block with 19 units that I was telling you about. So we've got there, it's gonna be 5.6 million to build that unit that we are starting. We are starting that in 2 weeks' time. So we know that the actual wet works will, within the next 3 months, I think you'll start seeing the whole structure up. Then the phase 2 is about, if my memory serves correct, it's about another 16, 17 units and the shops downstairs. And then the phase 2 is the smallest, which is the 2.1 million. And we didn't have a lift on all this. We've incorporated a lift because the buyers, the people that are buying, are now telling us that I think it would be a good idea to have a lift, because I didn't want any cost. So I wanted to keep the rates, the levies, body corporate levies low. I didn't want, I had an experience with the contract and the lifts. It just gets too much quite quickly. So I wanted to make sure that I keep it low. But now my architect have created a space for us to put a lift in a place where it's not gonna, but we'll put only one lift that will be able to just take people, because we are 20 meters high. So we are 4 floors from ground. So that's quite fair for everyone to carry groceries going up. So we've got a lift now that's gonna come up. It's not featured in this, but there's a company that's taking care of that. We're not gonna go too wild. We'll be able to make some savings and other things to achieve that number. So then there's other things that we put aside, like your 6 million and some allowances that we've put aside there. That's our internal document, by the way. Then the QS document, I have a big pile here. As you can see it, I don't know if I can raise it. That's the QS. This document comes from the QS company. So that's what the banks will work with and everyone will work with, but we would have done our part. So there is the development that we're busy with. So as you can see, ground there. We've got the shops on the left wing. We've changed the right wing to 2-bedroom apartments. So what we're going to do, I'm traveling overseas to start getting our show house. All the ground floor will be finished in 3 months' time, meaning people can go in, the buyers can go and touch and feel, touch the granite, touch the taps, touch everything and see how it's going to feel like, the lighting. So that will finish. We'll bring in a consignment for all those units down there while they are busy upstairs. So we'll get people to, it will help the sales also, even though we're already close to sold out. It will help. So in the next 2 months, we're hoping that we'll have a board written sold out in red. So on the left, it's something, my invention, that small little side house that I will be doing that's a small little boutique hotel, Frado boutique hotel with 9 rooms that we're gonna put in the space where KFC was supposed to be. So we'll be running that. So also on that space, we were already talking to the landowner. There's a site next door, next to entrance one, right next to entrance one. We're gonna take that site. Also, we're gonna just put, that's an addition, next phase after this. So we might be putting a gym there. The mall wants a gym, so we'll be doing a gym there and the rental stock. That's a story for another day. But on the left, so why I'm saying on the left, because it's gonna help our entrance. We're gonna make that entrance a little bit bigger. So strategy fundraising, how do we raise money to build all these things and be able to raise money to build to a certain level and certain volume, so that when the banks come and assist us or whoever comes, at least we've progressed. So there's a project that we are currently doing in Santin. That's 12 million rands contract that we have. We are busy with it as I speak. Surveyors are there. They just flown in today. So that project will make those profits that we make from those projects. It also helps us on the development. So that's how we work. The projects we do, we bring in more capital ourselves. We raise money ourselves within, so that we build. Whoever gives us money, we don't take a lot, so that we don't overtake. So that's our strategy, and it helps us to be able to be flexible too. And then project number 2, I've been appointed also part of the landowner and the JV in Zerast. We're building 20 units there. We also started, the funding has already been raised on this. This already sold, 19 units already sold. We haven't even broken ground. I'm the developer on that in partnership with VDN attorneys. VDN attorneys are my partners in Joburg. That's Cor. I don't know if you know Cor. Cor is the brother to Kravenstein's Lizelle. He's my partner in other projects that we're going to be doing. On this one, they are conveyancing on this one, but in other things. So we've got the Phoenix is also part of VDN attorneys. So we already started, the land has already been purchased. The SDP has already been approved. The plans are ready to be in. So this one is already starting. So those proceeds, those profits that we make from there helps us to build our side things. The things we do for, this is a plot and plan. So the bank will come in after foundation on this. So all those units that are 19 that are sold will be building on draws, but we already raised money until window level, if I will put it that way. So if we raise 5 million, maybe 1 million they end up coming to as a profit to help us on the side. So that's how we raise our funds. What is that? Sorry. Oh, sorry. That was the final one. It was actually the map, but it looks like it pixelated there. Apologize for that. So that's the map for the Bay West map for the Bay West precinct. So I wanted to show you where we are, but it looks like how I saved it. So if you drive, the people, for those who know PE, if you go to the engine in Bay West, you drive from engine going up to the mall to entrance 1, you'll see a building, the building, the Sandal building there. This building is, let me just go back. You see that building there in the middle? We are just next to Sandal building there. Yeah, so that's where we are, right next to entrance 1 and entrance 4, right at the mall. Land is serviced. We've got electricity there, bulk services. We've got electricity. We've got everything. We've got also water. We've got sewer. Everything is ready. Hence, I said we are really starting in the next 3 weeks. Once the plan comes out in the next, let's say 2 weeks, we've got another 2 weeks with NHVRC. They've already started, actually. We already sent them the stuff. They're just waiting for approved. Once approved, then it goes to the system. Now that there is this extra engineer, they have to send our things now to Cape Town or to East London so that takes 2 weeks. So after that, we're all ready to break ground. I think I'll leave it there.
Mr. Frank, oh my goodness, hey? What a technical, number one, technical, but exciting presentation that you had there. And I know the judges in the same room down in PE, they've got some questions, but while Jade and them are setting up, I think, firstly, congratulations, Frank, hey? From the last time we spoke, there's been a lot of movement, but it's also inspiring. For those that don't know, Frank was actually, this is his second entry into the Investor of the Year competition. I think 2019 you also entered?
Yeah, 2019, yeah.
Crazy, crazy how it's come around. I think I've got one question before I then open up to Jade and the other judges in the room with you, specifically with regards to, number one, I like your funding approach, right? The vendor financing to help you acquire the land and how you put the deal together was quite, I did quite like it. In my opinion, Frank, one of the biggest risks and challenges with developments at any scale, right, is the availability of services and making sure you've got the right zoning and the rights in place to do what you want to do. From the point you acquired the land, did you have to go through town planning? And what are some of the measures you put in place if you did have to go through town planning and getting the rights in place and the services in place? What are some of the measures you put in place if municipality did not approve everything you are trying to do? And how long did that process take unless the developer gave you a service stand? Hey?
Okay, that's a very good question. So what happened is that the landowner, who happens to be my partner in other things that overseas, what he did when he bought that land and the next door land across the freeway of the whole precinct. So the idea for Bay West was the mall and the precinct around and developments around it, but that didn't happen. So what they did, they when they were doing the mall, it was favorable terms because the mayor was there, the premier was there that time. So they got the rights for all the other sites. They subdivided the actual site for the mall. Then these sites around, they are called pad sites. So by default, those sites, they got the services that time. So they planned ahead, but that was 2011. Then that thing lapsed 5 years later. Then now that we saw that we're starting to want, there's a hospital, there's interest, now the PE is moving that side. Went back to the municipality, paid a whole lot of money to get back the rights. So rights meaning the only thing we can't build there is a garage, because there's a garage. That's the only thing. You can do as long as 20 meters. So we were lucky in the way that 3 years ago, you went back to the municipality, started again to gain back those rights. The rights were approved in 2024. But what happens is that there was already services anyways. There's sewer. So in other ways, to answer your question, I'll say this 5.6 million of repaying back to the landowner, there is 400,000 there of bulk services that are already in. My job will only just to call the municipality to connect my meter. That's it. There is already water. He's got about 250 kVA. No, it's in the high numbers. So we only want 110 kVA of electrical. He's already have it. So he's gonna supply the hospital next door to me. And the hospital, he just told me last week, the hospital is building a massive hotel next door to them there, because it looks like it's gonna be a very big hospital. So they will need to house people. So all that the whole pad sites, they've got sites, they've got sewer, they've got water. That's why it was favorable and it looked attractive for us that we don't have to go. Then the next step that we have to do is just to go back now individual pad site to apply for what you want to do. The mixed use, if it's mixed use, You need to do the SDP, which we did, and we were approved. It took us about 4 months to get it approved. Then we did the plans as we are busy with now, and that is almost approved. So we didn't have to do a lot of hard work. The hard work was done by the landowner. Now that he's also developing a massive data center in the vicinity too, and there is a bridge there that is going to be opened. It's already there, but it's just to open that also helps. So to answer your question, Daniel, I'll say we in short, we managed to acquire a land that is fully serviced and fully zoned to do all the things that are allowed. Hotel, mixed use, except a garage.
Jeez, and I'd be interested, maybe we'll chat offline on your business partner. I'm guessing brilliant, right? But we'll talk about that offline. Let's talk about that offline. So I'm going to now open the floor to the rest of the judges. Jade, Lonwabo, Yvette, do you guys have any questions for Peter? Sorry, for Frank? Okay, so sorry. I'm not sure if they can move the laptop to the judge just so that we can hear.
Okay.
Yeah. Closer. There we go. Okay, there we go.
If you want to
Thank you. There we go. I don't know if you can see me.
They want.
I think it's a speaker.
Okay, well, just in terms of the funding portion, I know that the 18 million that you spoke about, you said that is actually personal funding plus then you obviously got support, I'm assuming, from investors and so forth. The portion that's yours, percentage-wise, you don't need to give me the detail in terms of the value as such.
Yeah.
But your own contribution out of your developments and so forth, more or less, how much is that percentage?
Okay, another good question. So we're raising 5 million of our own money.
Okay.
To push especially the first phase to a very high, because developments with the, sorry, I'm here at the bank, but it becomes very, I've got another friend of mine, partner in Joburg. He's busy in Bryanston building 185. To convince the bank was a hassle, but a private, but you could pass the first phase, you pass the second phase, when you go to the last, but you don't have assets, you don't have this, then the deal falls apart. Yes. So you find those things, even with us, you're doing this, the bank will say, I want to see you having something 40 million on the side. It becomes very difficult to balance that, right? So that's why we end up becoming very creative to see how do we get this money, or even if we don't get the money, but get the things at a cheaper. That's why we did the hard labor. It took me many years to even go deeper to get those things. So to answer your question, I would say the 5 million we raised, it's helping us to at least give value so that when the bank comes, at least the risk is lower. So the more the risk, the far the project, the far the building, the bank is like hesitant. So now we've involved guys like TEF that are on board also, and also some private. But also we open to the banks to have a look at it. That's why we are building it in such a way that it will be easier for the bank to have a look at it, knowing that it might pass a certain stage, it goes to another stage, then that stage, it gets blocked. They're like, but this guy doesn't have this and this, then, and so on and so forth. So we are building towards that. So, but the first phase, since it's a sectional type, we want to make sure that first phase, as we are starting, the surveyor will start working on the actual units so that we can transfer them earlier. For God knows, if no money comes, we're raising ourselves, we'll be able to finish phase one. Then that phase one, we sell it off and build phase two. So that's how we did it, so that we don't stop. So when people see us starting to build, there is no stopping now, there is no funding, we're halfway. No, that's why we didn't build the whole block. If we build the whole block, we'll end in foundation and the bank doesn't see value. And there's nothing, even if they see value, they'll give me 592,002 cents. I can't do nothing with it, right? But if I build a volume, the bank sees like, oh, okay, then we can, if they have to pay me. So that's why, because we've been in and out banks many years, so there's just that. I don't think it's the bank issue, it's just the South African problem. It's not the bank. In my other life, I do work in Canada as well. In a vicinity, we are in a place called Calgary. Calgary, we are 2 million people there. And the whole Alberta, the province, let's say Eastern Cape, we're about 3.3, 3.4. The GDP of that small little place we are at is greater than South Africa and Nigeria combined. So when you do a development in Calgary, there is 60 different funders, even family, mom and pop, that have got 10 million waiting for any project. They don't care you're red, purple, whatever, they just see if you're in good faith, the money comes because the turnaround is faster. If we had things like that, the banks will come on deals that are necessary because maybe the bank comes on just to push you to get the land and get the things, then the funding comes, then everyone. So it's I think it's just the South African as a whole, something has to change there so that even if you can see the BOS, the reason why it wasn't developed to full is because of the funding issue also, you know.
That actually leads me to my second question is how did you do your due diligence to decide that Bay West is the spot that you will actually get the feet and have a 60% sale already as it is because of the reputation of it. So
exactly. So we knew because I was sitting in consultation rooms with things that are coming.
Okay.
So I saw the land that was sold also nearby. Big land that is sold to companies and I think also Amazon was talking to them. So there is land that is sold, and also the main thing that broke the camel's whatever analogy was the hospital. So the hospital, I could see that the hospital is here. I know the guys have signed the deal, they paid the deposit. So wow, okay, there's a hospital. How big is the hospital? Oh, we're talking 300 beds. That's large. That's maybe only. So for me, the next door sites were smaller enough for me to afford and be able to do. So that's why, because now also there were already talks. I was busy with Sandra in regards to opening the bridge and the civils work there. So from there, I could see that 10 years later, matter of fact, all my developments that I do, I go in places where it's still far. Like even in Kama Heights, when we started doing Kama Heights lots, there was just very few, like 15 years ago. There's land I bought in Kama Heights for, believe it, around 100,000.
Sure.
I sold now for 2 million, 2.3. Just literally the deal is going through. You see, so I've always been talented to really go deeper to see where is this thing, you know. So I think I'm able to see that. So that helped somewhat. So now that I did that part, the hospital is been approved. I mean, the plans. I think they're busy online. I don't know if you've seen it. They're busy online now. That it's inevitable for us to also succeed in that area. And knowing that across the road and all over around us within the next 5 years. And also not only that, PE is full. You go to Walmart, there's nothing. You go to Cape Road, nothing. So any growth has to go that way. You know, so the only thing that's maybe might end up coming also is a school there and other things and so on and so forth.
Great, thank you. Thanks, James.
Yeah, I think, Frank, it looks like you have been in the space for quite some time.
Yeah.
We do have people online that are young investors. They are probably aspiring to reach where you're at. What tips can you give them in terms of obviously looking at the challenges you've actually experienced in the past as well? How did you overcome those obstacles?
Yeah, it's just to keep on coming back. Because I remember my first, I said it on, I think it was 2019, on one of our, you know, Absa Bank. I don't know where they are here in Cape Road, but I'm saying Absa Bank, they were the first to give me money to buy when I was in the UK, 2004 or 5. Those properties were repossessed by Absa Bank, but it taught me something from there to say, live within your means. Even in the Bay West thing, this is the smallest land there is in there. I took the smallest. Even the guy was like, why can't you go? No, let's just go one step at a time because this thing is growing. So I think I've always been living within your means. So that living within your means, even in development, is very key. So going overseas, getting all this material, all this is living within our means. So you don't want a development that is expensive, you know. Another story is that we read is public knowledge. The reason why the Bay West Mall fell down with the previous owners is because they were over leveraged. They were given expensive money and Now to pay that, it became so expensive. I was younger then when the mall was built, you know, but I could see something is wrong. Why is this thing so expensive like this? But later on, 15 years later, it really ended up becoming expensive for them. Then they lost. So it goes back even how the level we are in, if you live within your means, even if you're doing flats, within your means, you calculate how many you get from there, and then that's where. But I think people end up getting, because there's land there, now they're saying choose what you want. It's like, let me take the biggest, but it's really, and also don't be greedy. You can work with other guys, you know, and combine heads. And matter of fact, even the hospital, when the guy the doctor who was trying to buy that land, he went in there. He said, no, I want this. He was alone. He's looking for investors. But the owner said, no, just go look for other doctors and combine. They ended up combining doctors. The people that are building that hospital is just a team of about 30, 40 doctors. Just individual guys, right? So there is power in partnerships in that way. So they build these units. The other one will have their own room, or I don't know what they call in doctors' terms. They will have their own things. Then the finance company comes once, and there's 30 people to pay back the bill. That's than one person, you know. So I think I would say my answer is that. Yeah.
No, thank you very much, Frank.
Frank, I've got a lot of questions for you, so I'm going to try and keep it to like 2. A lot of technical questions, because obviously I'm specifically interested in the creative financing model. And once people start getting their heads wrapped around it and how to do it, then a whole world opens to you in terms of developments. And you're talking about partnerships now, valuable that is. In terms of the ownership structure, obviously the owner already owned that land. You then came and proposed a deal to him. How does that ownership look? Does he still own it in his company? Does that ownership change hands once you guys sell the units? The funding, did they look at the owner when you generated funding for the deal? And did you bring in angel investors, so guys that put in capital as well? Or was it just your private equity and then he bought the land?
So he calls it favorable terms for me. Because what he's saying he's got a lot of land in the country, like a lot. He's not going to develop, he's going to die. And so why will he not give the up and coming to grow? So he's not going to lock it and say, pay me. No. So what he did, he said, okay, we give you this at favorable terms, whichever comes first. Once we start selling, while people are buying and the transfer happens, remember it's a sectional title. No matter whatever happens, I will get my money in a year and a half. He will also get his money then. So he said, I don't mind getting my money at the end, meaning the bank who gave you the money, whoever is going to get first. He's number 2, I'm number 3. So return, his number, it's only the bank, whoever borrows me with their interest is number 1. And he's number 2 to be paid. Then the transfer happens. And then I'm number 3 with the profit and remaining.
Okay, so you guys obviously set up an agreement through an attorney where he's the landowner. Exactly. You've got this agreement as you're developing on his land.
Yeah.
And as the units get sold, you've already agreed a purchase price for the land. And as it gets sold, he will end up getting his 5.6.
And we went as far, he's an admitted advocate of the High Court himself. So when we're sitting in a boardroom talking about this, he said, go to the banks, go to the guys and ask them what they need me to do. So TEF, most especially, they were key on the agreement. So TEF said, place it this way, put it this way. So there's 5 clauses that are favorable for the financing. Why? That's why when we came to Absa, I don't know, they dealt with who here. When we came to Absa for end user, it was really the agreement we said was like, boom, we're done. Because we worked on it for months and months with lawyers, TEF lawyers, he's a lawyer and so on, so that it's favorable, there's no blockage. Because the other deals is like, he gives you this land, there's a deal, but there's a clause there, no one can give money because they are. So now he made it so easy based on what they want, because we wouldn't know what the financial institutions want, but we made it easy. He said, I'll give you vendor financing, I'll get my money at the end, whichever comes first. If we decide to sell first phase and pay him, it's up to, it's just 5.6, it's like about 5 units. Sure. We can pay more. If I decide to make money somewhere and say I'm paying both, whichever comes first, he does the transfer.
So I think that's why your due diligence as investors is so important, because a lot of people will just jump in, try and sort this out afterwards, and then they find out there's a restrictive condition on the title deed or something, and then you can't get bank financing. So I think it was important, as you say, a couple of months it took you to structure the whole thing.
Yes.
So some people might miss that. So I really like how you put the whole thing together. What zoning does the land have?
Yeah,
You know?
I didn't have the zoning. I
Is
think
it
I'll
in
send
there?
you guys. It's got the list of about 50 there.
Is it pretty special
Literally,
use
it's
of
special
something? Yeah,
purpose.
special purposes.
Special
Okay.
purpose, mixed use, hotel, hospital,
Yes, yes.
school, you
Almost
name it.
everything,
You
yeah.
go in, like, the list is just too long.
Okay.
But I'll send that document. I think when I'm sending the package, the whole thing,
Okay.
it's got a list of things. It's very, very good because of the precinct. So
Yes,
it was
yes.
something that's supposed to happen in that area. We're lucky. Otherwise, it doesn't come cheap in PE here. Or even to renovate a small little flat. Oh, it's very tough.
Frank, so I'm not going to go into all my questions. The last question I really want to ask you is about your journey. You started off as a manager in the UK, you know, rolling out these restaurants that you did over there. And then somehow you said to yourself, listen, I want to go into development because you're seeing a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
So maybe in 5 minutes, tell us, how did you go from being that sort of manager in the UK to getting to a point where you did your first development and then acquiring the skills to raise money? Because that's not an easy skill to have, because you've got to convince people to give you money. We're not even talking about the banks now, we're talking about private individuals. So how did you get to the point where you learned that skill, which obviously is now standing in good stead many years down the line? You're used to it now, but in the beginning it's quite daunting asking someone for money.
So when I left, I think it was 99, I did my final college that side while I was also working. So I told myself, I love property, I want to come back to South Africa. So I used the UK as the fundraising. I wasn't getting a lot of money. I think it was like £7 per hour, really basic money. But I said, I'm not married, I'm just young, I'll just stay in a room. I just stayed in a room. Every cent I've made for 4 years was just going to the bank. Then when I went, during those times, I don't know what they call it now, they used to have the repossessed properties in the Absa, you know, in the Absa thing, you go there. So I put an offer in range of properties that I didn't even see, sight unseen, because I just see a property in Tulamahashe, I know Bisho. Then when I go, I just, you know, then because they were so cheap, remember those properties, maybe they are worth 250, then you end up buying them for 120 because they are distressed. I don't know if they're still calling it that, they are repossessed. So I said, this is the only entry that I have. The bank at the time, I think they were willing to give 50% of all those properties, and I bring in 50%. Believe it or not, I bought 5, I'm going to accumulate that 50% basic by staying in a room, raising money for years, banking. Then when I transferred it in pounds to South Africa, it was really, really, really good money. You know, then I lost because I didn't know, there was no something then to learn about property. I was ambitious. I did. Now, remember, I'm living UK, coming back, I bring back my then girlfriend, which is still my wife today. We come back to South Africa. Now both of us no income. My wife used to be a manager in conference centers and all those sorts of things. So now I'm telling this woman to go back with me. There is no income, both of us, to service the bank loan now and to run these things that are all over the place. We didn't have, there was not organized. The other one is in Joburg, the other one is in Nelspruit, the other one is, so now the rental, which one is renting, the other person doesn't pay, which one needs renovating, how, so we missed it there. But to answer your question, I would say that's how we raised it, basic with our small little savings, keep on throwing, then we came back, then we blew it ourselves, you know, that way, then we lost some, then we really had to restart again. So restarting again, there's the key now. Remember, I'm a restaurateur at heart, I know it, I grew up in it, I've been running restaurants, big and small, and coffee shops, whatever you call it. So my wife also is into the catering, hospitality. So we said, okay, now that we've lost these properties, we've got a small baby, what do? Let's just make flyers. You know what we did? We just made flyers. We went to offices here. We went to the university. There was CSIR. You see CSIR there. We gave flyers. There was a friend said, just bring your flyers. They would what flyers they gave. The mistake they did, they gave us 1 day to cook for a ESCO meeting. Just 1 day. Guys were coming from, we cooked today. They gave us a kitchen here. We ran it so well. The CEO of CSIR at the time tested our food, said, come to Pretoria and open for me Meraka Institute. Now, the developer in me kicks in because I can build. I built for them a 400-seater, building 2 there. So that's when we started. The money they were giving us that money helps now for me to go back. So it was just using what we have.
Okay.
What we have, building it up, hoping someone will see you doing so well, then someone will see you and call you, to come do something. And then the growth happened when this company tells this company that, oh, this guy is good with shop fitting. This guy, then we get contracts from companies.
Okay, so you were a contractor, so you were actually building on behalf of others.
Yes,
First,
exactly. Yes.
And then you started developing for yourself.
Yeah. Then I started taking that money. So if I make $1 million there, I take that $1 million, buy the land in Lorraine, you build one house, you sell it, then things like that.
Very nice story, Frank. Thanks for sharing, man. It's I love the story part, because there's many times in someone's story when someone else would have given up.
Yeah.
I think as a property developer, you have to have a thick skin,
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that you've worked through that in what you're doing now. So well done. This looks like an amazing deal.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be very successful.
Yeah.
So I think from our side, Dan, that's about it. Thanks so much, Frank.
No, thank you. And I think I'll echo exactly what Jade said. Mr. Frank, thank you so much. Extremely inspiring, hey? From being in a position where all 5 of your properties are being repossessed. And I'm sure that had all sorts of effects to see what you're doing now is absolutely inspiring. So ladies and gents, the judges are going to send us at the end of the day all their scorecards, and then the team at BSA Law, our investment partners, Bruno Samar attorneys, our legal and conveyancing partners, ladies and gents, are going to help us also with the full due diligence on everything Frank has provided before we do announce whether Frank is a finalist for this year's competition, ladies and gents. We are going to be announcing it plus minus end of this month. So a special thank you to our judges, Jade, Lonwabo, Yvette. A special thank you to you guys, all of you down in PE. If there's someone that wants to reach out to Absa's team and the likes, please do email us at support@sapropertynetwork.com or alani@sapropertynetwork.com, and we will put you in touch with the Absa team for any financing you do need, right? For any sort of financing you do need in the local area, or if you want to talk to the Absa team. If you would like to connect with our local property coach, Jade Barkhazen, you can also email support@sapropertynetwork.com. But in closing, ladies and gents, if you do want to join the competition, like I said, we are still going to be doing round 1 judging. This was a round 2 judging with Frank. Round 1 judging commences next week, ladies and gents. We are going to be live every Thursday, so please do stay tuned. But also, if you do want to enter, go to our website, www.investoroftheyear.co.za, or scan the QR code on the top of your screen. The overall winner of this year's competition, ladies and gents, will be winning a cash prize of 100,000 Rand in cash to you, because we want you to celebrate. We want you to use this money as you see fit. But if you ask me for advice, please blow the money. Hey, travel, have some good time, take out your partners, because investing in property is extremely difficult. That you need to take time to celebrate your big wins as well. And then if you are watching us on our Facebook page and our YouTube, please do follow us and subscribe. Drop us a like on this video, ladies and gents. It does help us get the video out there. So today was an in-person judging in Gqeberha. I hope I said it well before Jade kills me. We are going to be coming down in Cape Town on the 15th of July, and then we end in Johannesburg on the 23rd of July. So you've got limited chances to enter the competition. For our Cape Town audience, please put this date down for me. The 15th of July, we are having a breakfast together with Absa Bank from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Right, and then from 12 up till 3, there's going to be in-person judging where we are going to be live streaming to the rest of the South Africa. We're going to be live streaming. So please scan the link, the QR code on your screens right now to book your ticket for the Absa breakfast. So whether you are attending Investor of the Year or not, you want to be in the Absa breakfast because, ladies and gents, we get a local investor as well as Absa Bank talking about how you as an investor can get financing for your opportunities. And if you do want to watch and attend the in-person judging, you can also scan the QR code. Any person, any corporates that are watching this and you want to get behind the Investor of the Year competition, you can email Alani at sapropertynetwork.com. and you get a chance to associate your brand with some of the leading and biggest brands in the property sector. So please email Alani. The competition is warming and heating up, ladies and gents, and we are going towards the end. From me to all of you, a big thank you. Big thank you, Jade, and the team out there. Jade, thank you so much for making time for this. And the entire team, ladies and gents, catch me next week together with the team with more round 1 and round 2 judgings. So thank you so much, ladies.